The village of Umuchieze was built on red dust, the kind of dust that clung to your feet no matter how often you bathed, the kind that rose in clouds when children ran, coating their laughter with the color of hardship. Hunger was no stranger here. It sat in homes like an uninvited guest, and no one had the strength to chase it away. It was in this village that Amara Nwosu lived. She was only 22, yet her eyes carried the weight of 100 lifetimes. Once, she had been her mother's pride, a girl who laughed easily and danced in the moonlight. But that ended 5 years ago, when her mother's voice went silent, swallowed by sickness that no herbs could cure. Her father, Isaac Nwosu, had been a gentleman once, a respected farmer whose yam barns fed families and whose generosity kept neighbors fed during lean seasons. But grief broke him. He sought comfort in palm wine, drowning his sorrow until his laughter soured into curses. Soon, his once warm eyes turned cold, and his hand that had guided seedlings into the soil now carried a cane that cracked against his daughter's back. Then came Mrs. Nkem, the woman Isaac married after his wife's death. Her tongue was sharper than a blade, and her heart colder than harmattan mornings. She treated Amara not like a daughter, but like a burden. Lazy girl, she would bark, even when Amara's palms were raw from pounding yam or her back bent from carrying firewood. Every day was a mirror of the last. At dawn, before the rooster crowed, Amara tied her wrapper and lifted her calabash to the stream. She balanced water on her head, her slender frame swaying down the dusty path. Then came sweeping, scrubbing, pounding, cooking, all before the sun rose high enough to bake the land. At the farm, she bent over ridges of cassava and yam, her hands blistered from the hoe, her stomach growling from hunger. When the family ate at night, she was often left with the burnt scraps stuck to the bottom of the pot. And when she lay down, it was not on a bed, but on a raffia mat in the smoky kitchen, her skin stinging from mosquito bites, her heart heavy with despair. The people of Umuchieze pitied her, whispering when she passed. Women shook their heads at the market. Old men muttered under the udala tree. But pity was cheap. No one dared confront Isaac. His drunken rages were infamous. He once chased a neighbor with a machete simply for asking why Amara never wore shoes. So, the village kept silent, and the girl's youth was ground into dust. But fate has a way of stepping into human stories uninvited. His name was Femi Adebayo. He was not from Umuchieze. He came from the city, carrying little more than patched trousers, worn-out sandals, and a determination that could move mountains. For 3 long months, he worked Isaac's farm. His cutlass rose and fell, clearing stubborn bushes. His shoulders bent under baskets of cassava. Sweat soaked his shirt until it clung like second skin. The sun burned his back, but still he labored, dreaming of the little pay promised him. And for 3 long months, he asked for his money. Baba Isaac, he would begin with respect. Please, my wages. And every time, Isaac waved him off, lips wet with wine. Tomorrow, next week, when I sell yam in the market. But tomorrow never came. One afternoon, the sun baked the earth until even the goats hid in shade. Femi marched into Isaac's compound, his patience hanging by a thread. His chest rose and fell, but his voice was firm. Sir, please, today I must have my money. Amara was sweeping near the mango tree. Sweat streaked her face, her wrapper clinging to her skin. She glanced at him briefly, then lowered her eyes. Isaac stumbled out of the hut, scratching his belly. His eyes roamed until they landed on Amara. A cruel smile curled his lips. "You want money?" he asked. "Yes, sir." 3 months is long. Isaac chuckled, then pointed at Amara. "Take that girl instead." The broom slipped from her hand. "Lord, please," she prayed silently. "Don't let this man be like my father. I am tired. Just give me peace." Femi said little. His eyes stayed on the road, his jaw tight, but every so often he glanced at Amara. She looked small, fragile, like a clay pot that might crack if handled roughly. Yet, there was strength in the way she sat, her bag hugged to her chest like armor. By evening, the bus rolled into Lagos. Chaos roared to greet them. Yellow Danfo buses honking, Okada riders weaving like madmen, hawkers shouting prices of gala and pure water. The streets throbbed with life. Amara gripped her bag tighter, her eyes darting. She had never seen such a crowd, never heard such noise. From the bus, they boarded a keke napep that weaved through traffic until it reached a quiet estate lined with bougainvillea flowers. Femi paid the rider and led her to a towering wrought iron gate. The gate creaked open. Amara gasped. Inside was another world. A wide compound, trimmed hedges, a cream-colored duplex gleaming in the setting sun. A small fountain gurgled in the corner. Her mouth fell open. She had never imagined such a place existed outside Nollywood films. But Femi did not lead her to the mansion. He walked instead to a smaller building behind it, a modest annex. "This is the staff quarters," he said with a smile. "One bedroom, sitting room, small kitchen, bathroom. This is where I live." Amara stepped inside. The tiled floor gleamed faintly. The bed had clean sheets. The roof did not leak. The door had a proper lock. To her, it was a palace. "I just got a job here as an estate guard," Femi explained. "The landlady is kind. She said I can stay here as long as I keep the compound safe." Amara's lips parted in surprise. "Really?" He nodded. "She lives in the main house with her only son." She looked around again, her heart swelling. "If this is God's plan for me," she whispered, "then so be it." For the first time in years, she felt peace. 2 days later, Amara awoke to the smell of frying eggs. Sunlight streamed through the small curtain, painting the room in gold. She stretched, surprised at how well she had slept. No shouting, no insults, no beatings, just silence and rest. She stepped into the kitchen. Femi stood by the stove, turning eggs in a pan. "Good morning," she said softly. He turned with a smile. "Morning, Amara. I made breakfast. Hope you slept well." "Yes," she nodded, like a baby. They both laughed lightly. After breakfast, Femi said, "Get dressed. I want you to meet someone." "Who?" she asked curiously. "You'll see. Just wear something simple and neat." She wore a soft gown Femi had bought for her at the market, brushed her hair, and stepped out, her heart pounding. They walked to the main house. The tall black door opened, and an elegant woman in her late 50s appeared. Her presence was calm but commanding. "Good morning, Madam Abimbola," Femi greeted. "Morning, Femi. And who is this beautiful young lady?" "This is Amara, my wife." Amara's cheeks burned. Madam Abimbola took her hand warmly. So this is the wife you spoke of. You are lovely. Come in, my dear. Amara stepped into the living room. Chandeliers sparkled. Marble floors gleamed. Her eyes widened. You are welcome, my daughter, Madam Abimbola said. I like you already. You have a sweet spirit. Feel free here. If you need anything, let me know. Thank you, ma, Amara whispered. That evening, after cleaning the little kitchen, Amara sat on the bed while Femi fixed a loose wardrobe handle. Femi, she called softly. Yes. Can I tell you something? He looked up. Of course. Her fingers twisted nervously. When my father gave me to you, I felt useless, like I was being thrown away. I thought maybe you'd be worse than him, that you'd shout at me, beat me, treat me like a slave. Her voice broke.
But you didn't. You gave me peace. You respected me. You even cooked for me. I want to thank you. I don't regret coming here anymore. Maybe this was God's plan. Femi rose slowly, his eyes soft. He sat beside her and took her hand. I would never hurt you, Amara. That's not the man I want to be. He hesitated, then smiled gently. Truth is, I liked you from the first day I saw you on the farm. I wanted to talk to your father, but I feared he would insult me. That day, he offered you instead of paying me. I was shocked, but inside, I was grateful. It felt like God opened the door in a strange way. Amara looked down. I don't love you yet, Femi. I know, he said quickly, and I'm not rushing you. She nodded. But I like how you treat me. Like I matter. Like I'm not a mistake. Like I'm a queen. He smiled wider. That's because you are, Amara. You are a queen. You've just been hidden in the wrong palace. Amara laughed softly through tears. For the first time, she felt seen. Something had begun to grow. Respect, peace, trust. As the night deepened, Lagos hummed outside the walls of the estate. Amara lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. The fear that once choked her chest had loosened. The silence was no longer heavy, but comforting. Beside her, Femi breathed steadily, lost in dreams. Amara turned, whispered into the night. Maybe better days are coming. And the moonlight, slipping through the window, seemed to nod in agreement. The compound of Madam Abimbola Adebayo was a world Amara had never imagined for herself. Every morning, when she swept the tiny sitting room in the staff quarters and washed her face in the tiled bathroom, she marveled at how far she had come. Just weeks earlier, she had been scrubbing pots in Muchieze, sleeping on a raffia mat while her stepmother cursed her. Now, she was waking up in Lagos, inside a room with a proper bed, with sunlight filtering through curtains instead of smoke from a cooking fire. But peace is like dew. It does not always last under the rising sun. Amara adjusted quickly to life in the estate. She helped Femi keep the annex clean, washed their clothes neatly, and began experimenting in the small kitchen. Femi often teased her about the way she wrote down new recipes in the notebook her mother had left her. My wife, the chef, he would say, grinning as he watched her scribble with intense focus. She would blush, laughing softly. Don't call me that. I'm just learning. But it was right. She had a gift. Even simple jollof rice seemed to carry extra sweetness when she cooked it. One sunny afternoon, Amara was helping Madam Abimbola carry bags of groceries into the main house. The older woman studied her carefully. Amara, come sit with me for a moment, Madam Abimbola said, patting the couch.
Amara wiped her hands nervously on her wrapper and sat, her heart pounding. I have been watching you, Madam Abimbola began. Her voice was calm, her eyes kind. Femi told me you are a good cook, and I agree. You are humble, hardworking, and respectful. My cook has traveled abroad with her family. I need someone I can trust to take her place. Amara, I believe you are that person. Amara's eyes widened. Her mouth fell open, but no words came out. Tears welled up. Ah, Ma, thank you. God will bless you. I don't even know what to say. Madam Abimbola smiled. You deserve it, and you'll be paid monthly. Do your work with diligence, and you will never lack here. Amara's hands trembled as she wiped her tears quickly. Thank you, Ma. Thank you. She hesitated, then whispered, Can I tell you something? Of course, my daughter. I want to go back to school. I stopped after secondary because of family problems, but my dream has always been to go to university. If I save this money, maybe one day. Madam Abimbola's face lit up. Education, that is a beautiful dream, and I will support you. You remind me of myself when I was young. I love girls who love school. She pulled Amara into a warm hug. One day, Amara, you will not just cook. You will wear a gown and cap, and people will clap when you collect your certificate. Believe me. Amara's chest swelled with joy. That evening, Amara ran back to the staff quarters, her slippers slapping against the tiled pathway. She burst through the door, her face glowing. Femi, Femi, she shouted. He rushed out of the room, startled. What is it? Why are you shouting like that? You won't believe what happened. He frowned playfully. Tell me before my heart jumps out. Madam Abimbola said I should become her new cook. Amara squealed, jumping like a child. She said she will pay me every month. Femi's eyes widened. Are you serious? Yes. And I told her about my dream to go to university, and she was happy. Femi grabbed her and spun her around, laughing. That's my wife, my hard-working, world-class wife. Amara blushed. Stop, you are making me shy. I mean it, he said firmly, holding her hands. From Umuchieze to Lagos, from tears to smiles, from rejection to celebration. Look how far God has brought you. Amara's eyes softened. It feels like a dream. And the dream is just starting, Femi added. That night, after they had eaten, Amara lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling. She turned to Femi, who was fixing something on the table. Femi, she called softly. Yes? Can I ask you something? Anything? She took a deep breath. Why haven't you, touched me since I came here? We are married. If it was another man, maybe he would have done it the first night. Femi froze. He had not expected that question. He sat slowly on the edge of the bed, his face serious. You're right, Amara. Many men would have done that. But I'm not those men. I didn't bring you here to use you. I brought you here to love you, to protect you, to give you peace. You've been through so much already. I see the pain in your eyes, even when you smile. I don't want to add to that pain. Amara's throat tightened. Tears pricked her eyes. Femi continued softly. I want you to love me first. I want you to feel safe. When your heart is ready, when you give yourself to me freely, not from fear, not from pressure, then, and only then, will I be ready to. Her tears spilled. You really mean that? I do. This marriage must be built on love, not fear. He leaned down and kissed her forehead. Sleep well, my queen. For the first time in her life, Amara felt truly safe in a man's arms. But peace rarely goes unchallenged. 2 mornings later, Amara was in the main house kitchen, slicing fresh ugu leaves for Madame Abimbola's vegetable soup. The door creaked open. She turned, and her knife merely slipped from her hand. A tall, handsome young man stood at the door, his smile quick and confident. "Damn," he said softly, his eyes roaming over her. "You are beautiful." Amara stiffened. She recognized him instantly. Daniel Adebayo, Madame Abimbola's only son. "My mom told me about you," he said, stepping inside casually. "She said you were humble, hardworking, and beautiful. Honestly, I thought she was exaggerating." But now, he grinned, now I see she was even understating it. Amara lowered her gaze. "Good afternoon, sir," she said quietly, focusing on her chopping. He chuckled. "Come on, don't call me sir. I'm not that old. Call me Daniel." "No, sir, it's not proper." He tilted his head, amused. "You're so polite. I like that." She didn't answer. She finished her chopping and carried on with her cooking. Daniel lingered a while longer, then finally left, still smiling. That evening, Amara told Femi what had happened. "He said you are beautiful?" Femi asked, his brows raised. "Yes, he said I should stop calling him sir." Femi frowned, but forced a smile. "Ah, that's Daniel. That's how he jokes. Don't take him seriously." Amara's face tightened. "Femi, I didn't like the way he looked at me. Like I was... like food." Femi touched her hand gently. "Don't worry, my love. If he crosses the line, tell me. I'll protect you. You're safe with me." But Amara wasn't convinced. Something in Daniel's eyes had unsettled her deeply. Days later, it happened again. Amara was in the kitchen stirring a pot of egusi soup when Daniel entered quietly. "Amara," he said, leaning on the counter, "there's something special about the way you cook." She kept staring, pretending not to hear. "I won't waste time," he continued, lowering his voice. "I like you. You're beautiful, smart, hardworking, and I'm not just flattering you. I want you to be my girl." Amara froze. "I can change your life," Daniel went on. "I'll send you abroad, London, Canada, anywhere you want. I'll pay your school fees, buy you clothes, a new phone, everything. You'll never struggle again." He stepped closer. "You're wasting time with that poor security man. What is he giving you? Nothing. I can even pay him off. Tell my mom to sack him today. Just say yes." Amara set down the spoon, her hands trembling. She turned to him, her voice calm but firm. "With all due respect, sir, I am not interested." Daniel blinked. "What? I am married. I am focused on my husband, my work, and my dream to go to school. I will not throw that away for quick pleasure." He laughed loudly. "Marriage? You call that thing with Femi a marriage? You should be ashamed." At your age, you should be enjoying life with a man like me, not a broke guard. Amara's eyes flashed. I am not ashamed. I am proud of my husband. He respects me. He loves me. He may not have much now, but one day, God will bless him. I would rather dream with a man who loves me than live a fake life with someone who only wants to use me. Daniel scoffed. You will regret this. No, sir, Amara said firmly. If standing by the man who stood by me is a mistake, then I would gladly make it again and again. Daniel glared at her, then stormed out. That evening, Amara returned to the quarters in silence. Femi noticed her red eyes. My queen, you are quiet. What happened? She swallowed hard. Daniel came to me again. This time, he promised to send me abroad. He said he would buy me everything, but only if I agreed to be his girl. Femi's fist clenched, his eyes darkening. He said that, yes, he even said he could pay you off or get you sacked. Femi's chest heaved. But when he saw her tears, he calmed himself. What did you tell him? Amara wiped her face. I told him no. I told him I believe in you, in us. I told him one day God will bless you. Femi pulled her close, his voice breaking. Thank you, Amara. Thank you for standing by me. She smiled faintly. You stood by me first. Now, it's my turn. That night, they prayed together before sleeping, but Amara's heart remained heavy. The next morning, Amara could no longer bear the weight. She marched to the main house and knocked firmly on Madame Abimbola's door. My daughter, good morning, Madame said kindly. What's wrong? You don't look happy. Amara took a deep breath. Ma, I need to talk to you. Please don't be angry. It's about your son. Madame Abimbola frowned. Daniel? What about him? Amara's voice trembled but stayed steady. He has been disturbing me, saying things that make me uncomfortable, promising me money, asking me to leave my husband for him. He said he can send me abroad, buy me clothes, even sack Femi just to have me. Madame's eyes widened, then narrowed. Silence filled the room. Finally, she sighed. Amara, you are a beautiful girl. Maybe my son just sees your potential. Maybe you should consider giving him a chance. Amara's jaw dropped. Ma? Madame leaned forward. Think about it. We can give you everything you want. Education, comfort. Even your husband will benefit. We can pay him off to walk away. This is a good opportunity. Amara rose slowly, her hands shaking, but her voice strong. With all due respect, Ma, I am not that kind of woman. I didn't marry Femi because of money. I married him because when the world turned its back on me, he gave me dignity. When my own father gave me away like yam, he treated me like a queen. I would rather quit this job than betray my husband. Never. She turned, tears running down her face. I won't stay where I am disrespected. And she walked out, her steps firm, her heart burning with both pain and love.